Hello, art historians. Welcome back. We are in week 3, module 6, unit 1, and we're going to be learning about the medieval world. So we are continuing with Europe and Central Europe. We've got the Romanesque art that we're going to be talking about this unit. So for this unit, the title is Module 6, Medieval World Part 3. We are in Medieval Europe 4, 6.01, Romanesque Art and Architecture. And you've got 8 core works and 3 supplemental works for this unit. These works range in date from around 1050 to 1200 CE, and most of the sites are going to be in and around Central Europe. We have a couple of pieces in Spain, some from France, some from Northern Europe, so they're a little bit all over the place in regards to the Romanesque era. Now, there are 2 different very important eras in the medieval world. We've got Romanesque and then we've got Gothic. So before I even get to these works and discussing them a little bit, I want to really explain to you how I differentiate between these 2 eras, because sometimes they can get a little crossed if you're not completely familiar with them. So when we think of Romanesque construction, you think really big, heavy, thick, durable. So they've got buttresses, they've got thicker and shorter walls. We've got darker interiors, rounded arches, barrel vaults. And so whenever I think of Romanesque structures, I think of a pomegranate just because it's so tough. It's got thick walls and it seems like a little short and stout. And then I'll explain a little bit more about Gothic construction when we get that far. So, the sites that you're going to be seeing are both architectural and smaller scale. So your architectural sites include the Church of St. Foy and Reliquary. We've got the Durham Cathedral, the Church of St. Pierre, and then our small scale works include the Bayeux Tapestry, the painted apse of St. Clement, the Last Judgment tympanum at St. Lazare, the casket with troubadours, and the Virgin and Child in Majesty. And your supplemental works include the Cluny Abbey, San Miniato, and the Pisa Cathedral. So let's talk a little bit about some of these sites. So St. Foy, she was a martyr, and she was murdered or executed for being very dedicated to the Christian religion in spite of any opposition. So she passed away at 13 and became a saint. So we have this church that's dedicated to her, and this was on the pilgrimage route to Santiago de Compostela. So this is a really important pilgrimage church where we have the introduction of more space for people to pass through. So not only are these churches being constructed in that basilica type shape where we've got a very long rectangle, you've got a nave down the middle, side aisles on each side, a curved apse at the end, and then any worship space being directed towards that apse. What they've added now in the Romanesque and Gothic eras is a piece that is now perpendicular to that nave called a transept. And this is so that while worship is happening, or even, maybe not if the congregation isn't necessarily there still is the ability for people traveling to visit this space, move through it, and then continue on their way. And so that's what the transept allowed, as well as the ambulatory, where you would walk around that curved apse and see any relics set up over there before moving and kind of carrying on your way. Before you go into these churches, there are always things called tympanums that are a kind of half circle type shape that are meant to convey some sort of message about the religious structure, usually about being faithful. So we've always got images of JC, and he looks pretty serious most of the time too. The tympanum of St. Foy has always been so entertaining to me because of the little goofy devil guys over in the hell side of the tympanum. And of course we have a reliquary of St. Foy that people are going to visit as well. So other than that, we are looking at some smaller works as well, which includes the Bayeux Tapestry. This is a misnomer. This is not a tapestry. This is an embroidery. It's around 224 feet long. I actually spent time to cut out paper that, I know it's not that tall, but extends about 224 feet. I think I got around 220 before I ran out of paper, which is unfortunate. But I will post a picture of that as well so you can kind of get a sense for scale. It's gigantic. And it details this really important Battle of Hastings where we've got William the Conqueror versus Harold, the Duke of Normandy. That's William the Conqueror, who's the Duke of Normandy, and Harold, the Earl of Wessex. And so you can kind of guess, based on that name, who's going to win, William the Conqueror. It was also commissioned by his brother, Bishop Odo. But this embroidery is really, really detailed. It's got great colors in it, and it shows this battle from start to finish. So you really get a sense of the entire story, which is really cool way to kind of represent a battle at this time. We've seen it in a lot of different methods throughout art history, including on columns and on sarcophagus or sarcophagi, etc., etc. So I hope you enjoy learning about Romanesque art, and we will touch base again for Gothic art. Bye!